Yeah, well, we're super excited to, be coming back that way, and to have a chance to be in the playoffs is a very special opportunity for our team. It's an incredible opportunity any year, but especially this year. All that has transpired, and what all these guys have had to do to get to this point. So just really happy for them. We had an amazing game in the ACC championship game, which has given us this opportunity. Knew we had to win the game, and just really proud of them. And we look forward to competing against a great Ohio State team. We all know how talented they are, how well coached they are. Got a lot of respect for Ryan Day and Ohio State. But this is really just a great opportunity, and again, unusual circumstances for everyone, for sure. It's not a typical bowl type of deal. And usually we've got lots of time to prep, but it's really like an open date. We play in 12 days, so we got a lot of work to do. But we're excited about the challenge and opportunity.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead to questions. Once again, for people looking to ask questions, use the raise your hand feature. I'm going to start off with Tim May. Tim, be sure to unmute your line and you can go ahead and speak.
Yeah, Dabo, does this, or Coach Swinney, does this have the sense, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Notre Dame, sort of a clash of royalty in college football, major college football at this point? Just kind of what's your take on that?
Well, I think the committee works hard to try to select who they think's the four best teams, and so this is what they came up with, and obviously you got really, really talented players on all four of these teams, and if you're going to pick the four best, year in and year out, you're probably going to have there's probably 6 or 7 teams out there that really have a shot every year. And, most given years, certainly Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Alabama and what they've done historically. But our program over the last, decade, we've been able to kind of elevate into that status as well.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we're going to go to the line of Patrick Murphy. Patrick, please unmute and go with your question.
Hey, Coach. A similar question. You guys have obviously played Alabama a couple times in this. You've played Ohio State now. I think this will be the 3rd time. Do you like the fact that the college football playoff has allowed for these type of games to occur more frequently? These big games against kind of historic programs, whereas maybe before you schedule these every once in a while, maybe you meet in a bowl game, but now you've seen these teams more frequently.
Yeah, I think the playoffs been good, and I think it's created a lot of opportunity for, again, these type of games. I didn't have a problem with the BCS, even though it was just 2 teams. I still was okay with that, but this is kind of taking that and made it better. But it kind of never ends. Everybody wants more and more and more, but it's unique. It's hard to, college football is really 130 teams. It's very difficult to get to this point, especially having consistency to be in the conversation. So I think it's great. And, it's been fun to be a part of those type games. And, that's been one of the biggest things in helping us build our program, is going and competing against the best.
Next up is Joey Kaufman from the Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Dabo. Obviously this being the 3rd meeting in 5 times, a lot of the matchups between Clemson and Ohio State have been big games. Do you look at that program as a rival for you guys?
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're anytime we play it, if we're playing Ohio State, it's a playoff. Or it's it was a BCS bowl back in 2013 in the Orange Bowl. So, anytime, we play Ohio State, it's probably some type of meaning. We don't have them on our regular schedule anytime in the near future. So, it's a big postseason game when you play those guys. And then we, I think Ryan does things the right way. I think he, believes in a lot of similar things as far as how they try to run their program, and we recruit a lot of the same guys. So just a lot of respect for their program, and getting to know Ryan over the last few years. I mean, he does a awesome job. Got a great staff, and so it's definitely a team that we compete with, not just on the field but also in recruiting.
Next is David Hood from tigernet.com.
Hey, Coach, you always talk about trying to play your best football at the end of the year. Do you feel like yesterday was your best football game so far this year? And do you feel like there's still more out there for this group now that you're finally getting healthy?
Oh, yeah, no question. It was definitely our best game, our most complete game. All three phases really complement each other. We big kick return, made a couple field goals. Kickoff coverage was very good. We punted the ball inside the 20, I think 3 times. And then, offensively, we had great balance. Was able to really run the ball efficiently like we wanted to. And then defensively, we held up against the run much better. And that led to great third down production on both sides. So I was really proud of our team. And but there's still plenty to do. We were in there watching the film just a little while ago, and we still had plenty of mistakes. We turned the ball over one time. Plenty of things that we can do to improve. But really proud of our team, and definitely played our best game. But we're at our best right now. This is the healthiest we've been by far. We still don't have a lot of people. And again, if you go back to March, if you'd have told me back in March that we weren't going to have Xavier Thomas, Justin Foster, Ladson, Ngata, and Justin Ross for most of the year, and all for some of those guys of the year, to be where we are is amazing. And especially those 3 receivers. And we've thrown for more yards than any team ever at Clemson. So I'm just really proud of this team and how they've, just worked and and our staff just found a way each and every week to get better and to stay the course. And it's good to see them now after 11 games, battle tested. And we've been forced to develop a lot of depth, play some guys maybe before they were really ready, but I felt like that paid off for us in Charlotte.
Next up is Dan Hope from 11 Warriors.
Hey, Dabo, you've talked about the number of games you guys have played versus Ohio State. I'm just curious from your perspective, do you think it's an advantage for a team to be fresher and having played less games, or is it an advantage to have played more games and have more reps under your belt?
Well, I think the games matter. I think, the mental and physical toll of a season is, there's nobody out there that would say that, somebody who's played 11 games versus somebody who's played 6, is better physically or something like that, because it's a long season. we're going on week 21, and these guys have had no break. It's been a grind, not just football wise, but the mental challenge and the personal sacrifice and commitment that everybody's had to make to be able to play and continue to play. It has been incredible, and our guys have been just so committed in that regard. So yeah, anytime you step in between the lines in the game of football, that's a lot of practices. That's a lot of physicality. So I definitely think that it matters. But at the end of the day, none of that matters in New Orleans. What matters is who plays the best in those 4 quarters.
Next up is Ralph Russo from the Associated Press.
Good afternoon, Dabo. Congratulations on getting back.
Thank you.
Big picture question, and I know you got a game in 12 days, so it might be hard to think about this. I anticipate you're going to be around college football for a few more years. Do you think it's inevitable that it will end up with something bigger at some point, that they will have 8 teams, 6 teams, something like that?
Nothing would surprise me with college football. That's the best way. I don't have any definitive opinion one way or the other. Other than nothing would surprise me as we move forward. But, again, I think one of the reasons that college football is so popular is because every game matters. And, that game we played at VTech it mattered. That game Florida played against LSU, it mattered. And, is there a fine line? I mean, the more you expand, the less important the games become. And now all of a sudden, to me, it gets watered down, and teams that know they're going to be in, next thing you know, you're resting guys, you're not playing guys, it all becomes about that. So I think there's what's the perfect number? Is it 4? I don't have a problem. And people say, well, yeah, you 4 and you're in it. But I mean, if you go to 8, I would think we'd still have a chance to be in it. If we can get in it at 4. I'm a little bit more of a traditional guy. Again, as I said, I was fine with the BCS, even though it was, hard to be in just two teams and so subjective. I was fine with that. I like the bowls. I like the pageantry of college football. And I think more and more it goes, the less and less the games matter. And, so I don't know. Nothing would surprise me.
I think we have time for one more. It's going to be Ted Lewis from the New Orleans Times-Picayune.
It's certainly an unusual year when you're only coming in for your bowl game 2 days before. I know when y'all were here against Alabama years ago, you wanted the team to enjoy the experience, and also you'll have only a couple of weeks less practice for preparation time. How is that going to be an adjustment, and do you regret that it's worked out that way, and your fans won't be able to be there, or not many of them?
Well, first of all, I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to play, regardless of whatever circumstances are, because it's been awesome for our team and our players and for these guys to have some sense of normalcy. And it's also been great, I think, for our country and for people in general to, because I know football brings a lot of joy to a lot of folks. And, so our guys have been awesome. They've done things the right way all year. Really proud of them, what they've done academically. And I don't think that happens if they weren't able to be together. The type of discipline that they've lived with, it's been pretty special to be a part of it. Absolutely. I wish, like we all do, that this was all behind us, and I'm hopeful that it will be next year. But there's nothing. I mean, I as a player, as a coach, I love the bowl experience. I mean, I love it. I just think it's awesome to be able to go and embrace a new city and to have that time together. Practice in different venues and things. I always love that. I really do. And I love bowl prep. I love the opportunity to develop your team during that time. We always have, JV practices and things on for next year's team. And it's always fun. We have some kind of fun things that we do. And so that's going to be different for sure. And so absolutely, I wish it was different, but it is what it is. And we embrace that. We can't control it. So this is just basically an open date. Actually, we have less time to get ready for this game than we did for Notre Dame. So it's basically an open date. That's how we have to look at it. But you got Christmas kind of sandwiched in there as well. So it's a definite, it's a unique dynamic that we've not dealt with in the past. But it is what it is. And yeah, we'll come in, I guess sometime the night of the 30th and kind of have our Friday type routine on the 31st, play the game on the 1st and come home right after the game. But it's all good. We're just, like I said, thankful and grateful to have the opportunity.
Thank you very much for the time today, Coach. I look forward to seeing you in about 12 days.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
For the media, I'm actually going to lower all of the hands. So if anybody has any questions, you will need to raise your hand once again once we get started with Coach Day. I believe Coach is with us. And Coach, here you are right now. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could start off with a brief opening statement, then we'll go ahead to the questions.
Yeah, thank you, John. Just Certainly excited. Everyone here is very, very excited about the opportunity to play in the Sugar Bowl. It's been a unique season in so many different ways, and to get an opportunity to get back into the playoff and play against Clemson is very, very exciting. Certainly have an unbelievable amount of respect for Dabo and his program and what they've done, but how they do it. And he and his wife Kathleen have been really good to Nina and I, and so looking forward to the opportunity to play. It's going to be a quick turnaround. We only have 11, 12 days here to really get ready for this thing, and Christmas is in between. So unique challenge, but looking forward to it.
Thank you very much, Coach. Our first question is from Brendan Gulick. Brendan, please unmute before asking the question.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on making the playoff.
Thanks.
Wanted to ask you just point blank, do you think it should be a requirement that a team wins its conference championship in order to be included in the playoff?
Well, I think it's a two-part question, because the way it is right now, I don't think that makes any sense. The only way that would work, expanded the playoff system. I do think that's the fairest way to, or the most, to get that accomplished, is you win your conference and then you go play for the whole thing. But the way it's set up right now, that obviously doesn't matter. But I do think winning your conference is very significant.
Our next question will come from Trevor Groves.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. I don't know how much you've been able to see of Clemson this year, but obviously the thriller that you played against them in the semifinal last year, how much do you think of that team applies to their team this year? And I remember Coach Hafley saying after that game that he was surprised at how athletic Trevor Lawrence was in the running game. Did that surprise you as well? And how well do you think he's running the ball right now compared to last year?
Well, I think he and Etienne are two of the most dynamic players in college football and probably in the history of college football. And do I think that experience matters? Absolutely. I think that the fact that a lot of those guys played in that game and having the experience of playing in that game is critical. And I think that's why these Clemson teams have won so many games, because they played in this environment before, which hopefully also plays in our favor, is that we were there last year, and we didn't come home with the win, but we gained some experience there, and hopefully that pays off dividends. But in terms of Lawrence's ability to run, I mean, he's very, very athletic. And when they need him to run, they're smart about how they do it. And no, it didn't really surprise me all that much. I know that he had a great day against us and opened up and ran away from some of our guys, which that was very impressive as well. But very, very dynamic offense.
Next question will be from Nathan Baird.
Hi, Ryan. I guess, first of all, any update on Justin since yesterday? And then also, how do you, in general, balance things like rest and rehab with such a short turnaround, especially considering all the other absences you have right now?
Well, the good thing for us is that, we haven't played in that many games, so that, it's we've been, fairly healthy in terms of the physicality of it all. Where we've had a hard time is with people testing positive. And that's what's kind of made things difficult for us. Hopefully we get some of those guys back, and Justin will be fine.
Next up is Austin Ward.
Hey, Ryan, I know Mick was talking in January about putting up the score from last year's game in the Fiesta Bowl. That was like, get through workouts and motivation. How much did that continue, and how much did you guys were maybe hoping that this matchup would work out?
Fresh off of that game, it was right on our minds, and something that when we got back to work in winter workouts, January, February, I mean, it was right there for us. Coming off of that game, it just we just didn't get over it in one day. I mean, that took time. But then as we got into spring ball, we started to move forward, and then the quarantine happened, and the goal was to get back into the situation. And so, we were in the same situation a year ago, and we wanted, once that game was over, we wanted to get back here. How we got back here is just amazing. I mean, the journey that we've gone on as a program to get back to right here, to have another chance to play Clemson in this game, is like nothing you can't even make it up. I mean, some of the best storytellers of all time couldn't come up with this story. But here we are. All that being said, here we are. So, really just excited to get preparing and doing a great job over the next, I guess it's 11 or 12 days to go play our best game of the season, which we're going to need. We're going to have to play our best game to beat these guys.
Next up will be Bill Rabinowitz from Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Ryan. Normally 6 games into a season, you'd be in mid-October. You would only now kind of be getting a real sense of what your team is. Now you got to play a team that's played twice that many games, knows who they are. How much of a concern is that for you right now?
I mean, it's a great question, but I don't know because it's never really been done before. So what does it really mean? I don't really know. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's who executes better and plays tougher in the end. When you play in big games, you have to execute at a high level. And that's really what it comes down to. Both teams are going to play hard. I mean, everything's on the line. It's who executes better is going to pull it out. So we have to do that. And, whether we've played, 6, 8, 10, or they've played 12, I don't really know. I don't know what that really means. And so we'll try not to focus on that. We'll try to just execute the best game we can possibly, do the best job we can on Saturday.
Next up is Whitney Harding.
Hey, Ryan, we all heard about the Big Ten making adjustments today to the COVID protocols. When did you find that out? And point blank, will Chris Olave be back for this game? Does the time frame work?
Yeah, I think we have guys based on when exactly that number is decided and put public. I don't know exactly where that is in terms of being announced. I know it's something that the Big Ten, it's a protocol that is across all sports. So I know that, it's something for the entire Big Ten, not just for us. And so we'll just kind of wait to hear when that goes public. I don't know if it has yet or not, but I know that they've made a decision to move it. And then we have some guys that are really close, guys like Chris and Barron and some guys that, we'll find out once we get the final word on that.
I think we have time for 2 more. We'll start with Tony Gerdeman.
Ryan, so much is talked about Ohio State being at an advantage, only playing 6 games. What about it for you has been a disadvantage? Like, would you rather have more games, obviously, under your belt?
Everyone's on a different journey this year. I think that's what makes this season so unique. And I just think it's been, as a football coach and someone who loves college football, to see all these different teams and all these different young men who have overcome so much adversity and all their different, and everyone has a different story. And our stories, to me, is just simply amazing. We weren't even playing a season for a month, and then here we are right now. And, I think we have an opportunity to write one of the greatest stories in the history of college football. And I don't know what it all means. We certainly don't have the game reps, especially for some of the younger guys, to find out what they can do. And we, haven't had our best game yet this year. Played some good games, but we haven't had our best game this year. And we're going to have to play our best game again to beat Clemson.
Thank you, Coach. Our final question will come from Tim May.
Thank you very much. Ryan, you dealt with COVID-19 yourself. Josh Myers was talking yesterday after the game about just almost the agony of sitting there for 10 days, not being able to do anything, workout, et cetera. What was the challenge of bringing those, for example, offensive linemen back from that? And what will be the challenge facing these guys if indeed you do get them back, like Chris and Barron, of getting back into what you call game shape, in these ensuing days?
Well, yeah, I mean, Josh, Nick, and Thayer, 3 of them going into the game yesterday, had really played one game, I think, in about a month. And so the challenge is you just haven't played a lot of games during that time. But then they played excellent. They graded out really high, played well. It'll be the same for those guys, Chris and Barron, and a few of the other guys that are on that list. I mean, we were down over 20 guys yesterday and 2 coaches. And so again, I think back on, how our guys have overcome this, and it'll just be another example of that. But they have to clear cardiac testing and make sure they clear all those protocols. And we have a pretty good system in place for the skill guys, for the linemen, because it's very different. The skill guys after that quarantine, they got to really make sure that their soft tissue injuries are minimized and all those type of things. Where with the big guys is a little bit more pushing and pulling and different things. The specialists have their own set of stuff. So we put together a pretty good system that Sean Barnhouse and Dr. Borchers and Mick Marotti have all done an excellent job of keeping an eye on, so that you limit it. We have a percentage that once they get back to work, they're allowed to do for that day. Then we shut them down until they build back into 100%.
Thank you very much for your time here today, Coach. We'll be seeing you in shortly, about 12 days, I guess. So good luck with your preparation, and hope everyone stays healthy.
Okay, guys, thanks so much.
And for the media still on, once again, you can go to allstatesugarbowl.org. You can find our media tab. We will have a transcript of today's call. We'll post that as soon as we can. That'll also be emailed around to the schools for distribution. And you can email me at johns@sugarbowl.org, and we will get anything we can out to you. We'll do our best to accommodate everything. But again, keep in mind, COVID-19 is causing quite a bit of differences for the media operation of the Sugar Bowl as well. So hopefully everyone stays safe and healthy and has a chance to enjoy the holidays a bit. Thank you very much, y'all.